Have you ever found yourself suddenly overwhelmed, your heart racing, your body paralyzed with fear? Maybe you thought you were having a heart attack or feared you're about to die. There's a good chance you're experiencing the overwhelming world of a panic attack. Today we're going to break that down and give you some practical advice. I'm no doctor, but I've experienced over 100 panic attacks in my lifetime. First, let's clear up some common misconceptions about what a panic attack really is. Some people believe a panic attack is a major freak out where a person is throwing plates, screaming at the top of their lungs, and begging for help.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
In reality, most panic attacks are far more silent and internalized. On the technical side, a panic attack is a sudden episode of intense fear or anxiety that triggers severe physical reactions when there's actually no real danger or real cause. During a panic attack, your body's in this fight or flight response and it releases a surge of adrenaline. This leads to symptoms like a racing heart, shortness of breath, dizziness, and this feeling of impending doom. These attacks can be incredibly frightening because they mimic serious health problems. Many people think they're having a heart attack, but they pose no real threat. One show that illustrated a panic attack really well was Ted Lasso. Start by showing Ted experiencing these foreign sensations in his hand, similar to the numbness that I feel in my legs, as a precursor to my panic attacks. He immediately leaves stumbling through the hallway, overwhelmed and disoriented with a ringing sensation in his ears. This is your body screaming at you to escape the situation. Ted ends up on the floor, frozen, unsure of what to do, waiting for his worst fears to materialize. Rebecca helps him recenter himself during this panic attack and gets him to focus on his breathing and get over this attack. Overall, I think this was a really great representation of what a real panic attack can look like. In this show, Ted recovers a bit faster than I feel most people would during their first panic attack due to the fear of the unknown sensations in your body. My panic attacks are somewhat similar but come in a variety of different flavors. For example, if I panic at home, it usually starts with a strange sensation in my body, mostly in my head, usually in my head. My brain convinces me that I'm going to lose sensation in my body and mind. This quickly spirals out of control as my body becomes numb, my vision flattens and spins, my heart pounds, and I either hyperventilate or hold my breath. I slink down to the floor and wait for the worst to come as I grab my phone to call my mom. By the time she picks up, I'm usually just fine, and the panic attack is mostly over. I get up after a minute or two and go on with my day. In the moment, I am convinced that my life is over. The worst case is about to happen and I am gonna die. And in the next moment, I'm fine and I continue on with my day. I usually am pretty rattled after a panic attack, and this comes with exhaustion because of the toll a panic attack takes on the mind and body. Like I said earlier, I've dealt with over 100 panic attacks, so I have some insights on things that can help. Panic attacks really do suck, but hopefully I can try to help alleviate some of the pain by sharing some tips I've gained by going through all of these. First off, what helps me the most is just calling someone. Just talking to someone can make a huge difference. Urgent cases, you could always call 988, or if you really feel like you need to, 911. Another technique I use is the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. Is a great way to get yourself back to the present moment. So let's say I'm in a panic attack, you would name 5 things I could see. I would name 4 things I could hear, name 3 things I could feel, name 2 things I could smell, and name 1 thing that you could taste. It's to really get you into your present moment and get you out of this spiral inside of your head. Another grounding exercise is to go through the alphabet and name things in a specific category, like movie titles, video games, or colors. It's usually called A to Z, so let's do colors. I would do like amber, blue, a color that starts with C, and then you just go until Z. Another thing that works really well for me to get me into the present moment is getting something cold to shock myself into like staying in this present moment. I either use a cold water bottle or grab a frozen headband. It really does help me snap out of panic, and now every night before bed I get my cold headband because I just kind of sleep with it on because it just calms me down a little bit. Another technique is very hard to do in the moment, but to remind yourself that this panic attack will pass. Even in the moment, it feels like it will last forever and your worst fears are about to come true. But remind yourself that this will pass. Your body can't stay in this heightened state for long because it exhausts itself. It's impossible to stay in this state, and this is just temporary. A little bonus tip I'll throw in here is some people have a fear of fainting during a panic attack, and it's very unlikely to pass out during a panic attack. These panic attacks cause high blood pressure due to the increase in cortisol and adrenaline, whereas fainting usually occurs when there's a sudden drop in blood pressure. So even though it feels sometimes like you might faint, which I've had a couple of times, it's impossible. You can't. One of the most important things for a panic attack is to focus on your breath. Focus on taking slow, deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4, and exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6 or 8. This can help calm your nervous system and significantly reduce panic. And while you're either in this panic state or you're trying to focus on these breaths, you can repeat these calming phrases such as "this too shall pass," "I am safe," or "I can handle this." Some people really do like these positive affirmations, and they can be powerful in breaking the cycle of panic. Also, don't be afraid to reach out to a doctor. Panic attacks are very common, although terrifying, and sometimes just talking to a professional can help alleviate the fear of future attacks, and they could also provide guidance and reassurance. Some things you could work on now to help you during your panic attacks in the future is either meditate or focus on paced breathing. Meditation helps you stay present. Usually you do breathing during meditation, and just focusing on your breathing and practicing coming back to the breathing even if you have thoughts can be really helpful during a panic attack, because your thoughts just overwhelm you during this attack. Any tool that you have from before can help, and it's worth putting in a little bit of time to build that skill. Always remember to return to your breath even if your thoughts become hazy or cloudy. These tips can make a difference, but if panic attacks persist, seeking professional help is important. I've been there. It's so freaking tough, but with the right strategies you can manage and overcome these worst moments. I hope that somebody gained something from this. Good night, everybody.